What's going on, guys? Welcome back, welcome back. It's another, as y'all see, we back outside again. It's another beautiful, sunny, hot day in Dallas, Texas. And this video is specifically for the young men, the men who are just now starting adulthood, just now starting manhood, 18 years old, 17 years old, 25 years old, 20s, whatever, you name it. This video is for you. Your 20s are going to be some of the most hardest years in your life. These are going to be some of the most hardest years in your life. And it's going to get harder. I'm currently 28 right now, I'm in my late 20s, going into early 30s. And I remember being 18. I remember being 21. And I remember thinking like, damn, how am I going to make it? How am I going to pave a way? Like, how are people out here making it? How are people out here doing it? I remember. I remember how it felt. And it's even harder now for the men coming up because now we live in a society where it's not celebrated to be a man. It's looked down upon to be an actual man. And you have this feeling of what you should be internally, but society is telling you something completely different. Society is telling you something completely opposite of who and what you naturally should be. And that's why a lot of young men are confused. That's why a lot of young men are angry. That's why a lot of young men are depressed. It's confusion. There's a whole bunch of confusion. Men are not being catered to in the same sense that women are propped up and pedestalized. Programs for men are becoming obsolete. Men are now more isolated than ever before. Men are lonelier than ever before. Men are not participating in society in greater numbers ever seen before. So for you guys, it's going to be extremely, extremely hard, from the job market to dating to you guys who may want to start a family. It's going to be extremely hard. The job market, employers not going to look at you as serious. They're not going to look at you as someone, that they should pay some money to. Dating, you might as well X that off your list. A lot of these women are not even looking towards their peers or looking towards, younger men as viable solutions. There was a stat that I seen, not too long ago, where it was like, uh 30% of men were actually having sex or in relationships or something, while 70% of women were dating or having sex or in a relationships or something like that in the same age range. I think it was between 18 and 29. How are 70% of women in that same age range in a relationship, dating or having sex, while only 30% of men in that same group are doing the same thing? So what does that mean? The scale is imbalanced. It's not balanced at all. That means the women are going for the most economically viable men, which will be older. See, I'm just now getting to where, you know, women are looking at me like Zaddy. I'm just being real. I'm being honest. Women are now looking at me like a economically viable suitor. And I'm only 28, but I'm getting into, you know, like I said, those late 20s, early 30s, where Women are looking at you like, okay, I can take him serious. He has something going on for himself. Most of you women are not going to take you serious at all. You'll be lucky if you even get sex nowadays, even in the hookup culture. You guys that are between 18 and 25, 26, the women in that age range are freer than ever before, sexually liberated than ever before, but not with you, not with your age range. So you're going to be lonely, bro. You're going to be isolated. You're going to you're going to want to give up. I remember several times in my 20s, I just wanted to quit. I just wanted to give up. It seemed like nothing was working at all. Absolutely nothing was working. I just wanted to quit. I've tried to start multiple businesses, which you will if you have an entrepreneur mindset. You're going to want to start multiple businesses, which will fail because most business statistically do fail, and I failed at all of them, and I'm still pushing and I'm still grinding. What you're going to have to figure out in your 20s is who you're going to be. Who do you want to be? Because I'll tell you this, by the time you get 28, 29, most of your peers have already given up on life. There's a saying that said most men die by the age of 30, and not physical death, but mental death, spiritual death, emotional death. Most men give up. They give up, and you need to use your 20s to your advantage. This is when you at your peak testosterone levels. This is when you're at your peak energy levels. This is when you can go to sleep at 3 in the morning and get up at 6 o'clock like it's nothing. This is when you can stay up, 2 days straight, working, studying. Because by the time you get to your 30s and 40s, ask some of your elders. You don't have that energy no more. You don't have the same wit. You don't have the same, mental capacity. And not saying that you're just gonna become stupid or something or just a dang on mommy, but you're gonna slow down significantly. And of course that's subjective depending on that person, but for the most part, you're gonna slow down. So this video, gentlemen, is to let you know that yeah, your 20s is gonna be very difficult. It's gonna be extremely difficult. But what's gonna separate you from everybody else is, are you willing to keep going? Your 20s, you're gonna be, unless you get lucky, and I say lucky as in, some people can put in that work early on and, come out on top in their 20s, but that's like 0.1%. But your 20s, you will remain stagnant for a minute. I'm just now seeing the fruits of my labor. I'm just now seeing the fruits of my mistakes. I'm just now seeing the fruits of all the disappointment, because you will make a bunch of mistakes. You won't have it all together. You're going to think that, okay, it's going smooth until it doesn't. You're going to think, okay, this is a nice job until it ain't. You're going to think, oh, this is the girl of my dreams until she ain't. Your 20s is nothing but trial and error. It's going to be a trial and error. But by the time you get into your 30s, into your early 30s, late 20s, that's when you're going to be able to see the mistakes you made, the successes that you made, the choices that you made. That's when you're going to be able to see everything that you did up until that point, because it's never just set in stone. How you live, how you're living right now at 18, how you living right now at 21 will determine how you're living at 28. Hold on one second. I had to get this sticky note that flew off. But yeah, how you're living at 21 will determine how you're living at 28. And now that I'm 28, how I'm living right now will determine how I'm living at 30, at 35. See, you don't get the fruits of your labor right now. What you're doing right now will determine what will happen to you or how you're living in the future, right? Ain't that wind blowing? It's windy and hot. But yeah, and let me read this comment from a subscriber. He said, "Hey, Afterpill, how are you? I like the videos. I'm embarrassed to ask, but I'm 18 and I'm a dropout currently. And I'm currently getting my GED. And do you have any advice? I have skills. I know how to build things. I don't know where to start." So this is a comment from a subscriber, 18 years old, trying to figure out life, trying to figure out, where to go. And by no means do I have everything figured out. Let me start by saying that first. I still have a lot to learn. I still have a lot of wisdom to accumulate. I still have a lot of knowledge to accumulate. So by no means do I have it all put together. I'm still grinding. I'm still learning. I'm still developing. However, I do have some advice for you. You're 18, dropped out, and you're getting your GED. So one, I want to congratulate you. At least you're not out here just, a dropout. At least you're going the next step to getting your GED. And there's nothing wrong with that. My younger brother, he was also a dropout, and he went and got his GED. And I've looked at some of those GED tests, and they are by no means easy. So you definitely are, smart if you can pass and study for the GED test first and foremost. So since you're 18, nothing is going to be handed to you. Nothing's going to be handed to you. I remember being 18, I wanted the money up front. I wanted the money up front. I was, job hopping, trying to get more money, trying to, get to my goals and aspirations. But let me tell you something right now. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. You need to find something where you can stick around, learn, acquire knowledge and more skills so that it can pay off in 3 to 5 years. You need to be thinking long term, not short term. Hold up, let this helicopter go over. Okay. Dang. The wind interrupted my video, helicopters interrupted my video. Yeah. But anyway, you need to find something specifically blue collar. You said you like to build things. You have some skills. Okay, that means you need to get into some blue collar work, some labor work. So you need to be looking at getting certifications in HVAC. You need to be looking to get certifications in plumbing. You need to be looking to get certifications to become an electrician. Something that don't require a high amount of money to get into, like a 4-year degree. Don't go 4-year degree. 4 year a degree means absolutely nothing nowadays. It means nothing unless you're trying to be a doctor or a scientist or dentist or something like that. It doesn't matter. And you're already starting off at a great foot because you have no debt. You have no debt, and you want to keep it that way. You want to keep as little to nothing as debt as possible. So you're already starting off, free and clear, unlike a lot of kids your age who are going into college who parents can't even afford school. They're pulling out financial aid. They're pulling out private loans. And just how I said, what you're doing now at 18, what you're doing now at 21, you're going to see the consequences of your choices later on down the line. A lot of them, they're going to see the consequences of taking out those loans and not being able to get the jobs, those high paying jobs that they thought they were going to get with those degrees, right? But if you start how you need to start, if you start with blue collar, you're going to be set up perfectly. And I know the future may not look, you know, prosperous, especially from your lens since you're 18 and you're still trying to figure everything out. Society is telling you to lean one way and you're trying to go the other way. So I know it's difficult. It's extremely difficult. But I got you. I got you. Don't focus on women. Stay away from alcohol and drugs. Focus and get that money. So not only do you need to be finding somewhere to sit down somewhere and hone in on your skills, you need to be stacking money. You need to be stacking money you need to be setting aside most of your check if you can. You need to be setting aside most of your check if you can. If you can still stay with your parents while you're 18 to 21, I would do it. I would do exactly that. Stack your money. And while your peers are out here partying, while your peers are out here trying to figure out life, put your head down, work. While you're 18, bro, you need to be working 12 hours every day, 11 hours every day. No excuses for what? Fuck them bitches, fuck friends, all of that. You don't need none of that right now. Those are nothing but distractions. Friends ain't gonna do nothing but drag you down, drag you into their bullshit behavior. A chick, she ain't gonna do nothing but drag you down, of course. And the last thing you want to do is to be shacking up with a chick and ended up getting her pregnant, and now you set back years. So my advice to you is get that GED, go into some kind of blue collar work, something that don't require too much upfront cost, like HVAC, like plumbing, like becoming an electrician. Get into those fields where you're not gonna have much debt to get into that, because the salaries are great starting out. Get into some of those fields and grind, continue to learn, and stack your money. And not all the times will you like what you're doing. Not all the times will what you're doing is fun. As a man, everything is not about fun. Most things ain't about fun. It's about putting yourself in position for your future, putting your future family, if you want that, in a good position. Fuck fun. Don't get that out your mind now. Sure, live it up sometimes. I'm not saying just go all out on work. Yeah, live it up sometimes. But for the most part, you need to put your head down and grind and stack that money, because over the next 10 years is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. And I'm telling you this because I wish I knew some of this stuff back then. I didn't have uh, a wise father. I didn't have uncles telling me this. I didn't have a mentor telling me this, right? So take heed to this video. Take heed to this knowledge. Take heed to this wisdom. Bro, fuck those women. Leave them alone. They're only going to bring you down, and they don't want you anyway. You don't have the wisdom. You don't have the experience. You don't have the age. You don't have the finances. Stay away. Only when it's time to start playing with women, you'll know. When you're financially secure, when you got things, going for yourself, you'll know. Because then they'll start chasing you, right? And that's an after pill. I'll see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.